Coach J. Pops. Guys, we're here, man. We're here. It's the 5 o'clock hour, which is what? Traffic hour. It is traffic hour, people. But we are here, nonetheless, on a Friday afternoon. I know a lot of you guys probably already got the beer in you. A lot of you guys probably sitting at the bar, just in general, and stuff like that. As you guys can see, I'm in my Friday gear. All right, I will be back on tomorrow with another episode as well. So, guys, let's talk about it, man. Some breaking news out there. And guys, forgive me that when the breaking news comes out, I don't necessarily hop right on it, especially if it's not involving Texas A&M. All right, so I don't necessarily hop right on in there like everybody else does. You know what I mean? So I'm hopping on here today. And usually, man, if it's some breaking news, I kind of try to let everybody else talk, because when that type of news comes out, everybody has something to say. All right, so now that the dust has kind of settled a little bit, things of that nature, it's my turn. It's my turn to go ahead and break the news to you as well. So, 2023 commit, 2023 number one prospect, Arch Manning, just committed to Texas on yesterday. He done it around like the 11 o'clock hour, and I'm gonna be honest with you, just like it shocked a lot of you guys, it shocked me as well. However, I say that, I did know that Texas was fully in the run. All right. Now where I thought he was going to commit to was Georgia. I will tell you that, but I did know that Texas was right there with all of them, man. They were right there. He had made way too many visits. I seen I think the day before yesterday, earlier this week, where his best friend from the same high school that he's going to now, he committed to Texas, which is the tight end. So that there kind of pretty much told you something as well, and boom, there it goes right there. He commits to Texas. Now what does that say for the University of Texas going forward? What does that really say, and what impact does that really have on everybody else in the recruiting picture going forward, so far as the guys that Texas and Texas A&M are essentially battling for, especially in the state of Texas? What does that say to the rest of the people? What it says this here. First and foremost, that gives respect to Steve Sarkisian and what he's doing. All right, I'm not going to come on here and say anybody got bought. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say you went there because of NIL and et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to say that. I didn't say that about our guys. I didn't say that about any other school. So I'm not going to say that about that young man, even if it is the University of Texas that he committed to. What I will say is this. He went there because of solely Steve Sarkisian. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. A guy from Fort Worth. Howdy, man. Howdy. I thank you for tuning in. But he went there for Steve Sarkisian. If you guys look back on it, who did Steve Sarkisian recruit while he was there at Alabama? Because he was on the offensive side, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. He got Bryce Young, which was the number 2 recruit in the nation at that time, and the number 1 quarterback, I believe. No, the number 2 quarterback, I believe. And then he goes out, he gets Quinn Ewers to come back to Texas when Texas Tech essentially thought they had him. He was the number 1 quarterback. Ironically, these guys are going to the same university now, and now he goes out and he gets Arch Manning, number 1 recruit in the nation. This sets up everything we need to know about when you come from up under Nick Saban himself. You know how to recruit. And I say that in a different way because think about the guy that was, first and foremost, think about Will Muschamp. Let's just go way back to Will Muschamp. Think about his time at Florida. Although Will Muschamp, in my opinion, is not a good head coach at all, I respect his recruiting. All right? Now, when he got to South Carolina, the recruiting went down, but they recruited way better than what they ever recruited at. He wasn't going to get no number 1 or top 5 class in South Carolina. No, he just was not going to do that. But anywho, the point that I'm making here is that although Will Muschamp wasn't a good head coach by the stretch of the imagination, he was able to bring in top recruits himself. You got to remember, man, Will Muschamp brought in, I think, the guy that was the quarterback over there, I forgot his name, but that guy was like a top-rated quarterback. Only thing about Will Muschamp is that he wasn't a good offensive coordinator. I mean, he didn't know how to assemble a coaching staff to go in the right direction. He had one person going this way, the other one going the other. All right, he couldn't quite bring it all together as head coach. So you get all the way out. You got Kirby Smart at Georgia, basically doing the same thing he did at Alabama, recruit high-level defensive players, and he can also bring in high-level offensive players. All right, but you got to understand the track record of Kirby Smart at quarterbacks. It ain't good. It's not good at all. Now, Stetson Bennett, okay. Now, does he have something to say about that? Yeah, man, maybe. But you got to think of the simple fact that he recruited Justin Fields, didn't let him play, in which I do think Kirby Smart would have had him that. He would most likely be on the second national title by now if he wouldn't have let go of Justin Fields, and that's just that. All right, so Jake Fromm got him there. Jake Fromm couldn't get him there again after that. So you think about that. You also think about Jimbo Fisher and how he went to Florida State. And, of course, Jimbo Fisher was up under Bobby Bowden as well. But now you look at Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher done what he used to do up under Nick Saban. And Jimbo Fisher did what he did at Florida State. And that's bringing in top 5 classes. So now you got to think to yourself, you got Kirby Smart. I just named you. Will Muschamp. Another guy was Jim McElwain when he was at Florida. He brought in top 5 classes. You got to think about all of these guys. All right, what has all of them learned in their tenure? How to recruit. It don't matter if you're recruiting one side of the ball or the other side of the ball. All of these guys know how to do one thing best. If they don't know how to coach a game, they know how to do one thing in particular, and that's recruit. That's what Steve Sarkisian done. He sold recruiting. All right, he sold Mac Jones. He sold Bryce Young. He's now selling Quentin Ewers. That's his recruiting pitch for all quarterbacks in the nation. His recruiting pitch for wide receivers is Xavier Worthy. Prime example, Devontae Smith, Heisman winner. You know, Jalen Waddle, all of those guys. So it's not nothing very surprising. What I will say is that now you thought all the pressure was on us A&M, Aggies to perform. No. The pressure is now on Texas to at least get a couple of 10-win seasons up under Steve Sarkisian's belt. Now, people can come out and say 84 all they want to. But if Steve Sarkisian don't at least get some 10-win seasons in a Big 12 title before he comes this way, how is that going to look for Texas? All right, so that indeed affects them. How does that affect, excuse me, how does that affect recruiting? Golly, excuse me, guys. Now, how does that affect our recruiting in general? It affects it in an offensive skill set way. You know anything about Steve Sarkisian, he knows how to recruit offensively. All right, so this was a post that I had made. I said, you know what, as an Aggie, I'm not mad at that. I congratulate that. I love that. You go out and you get somebody that's at the highest level in a position that you know how to coach. All right? Us Aggie fans, look, man, you all got to understand that we got our guy. All right? Texas is still trying to find that. We have our guy. I'm talking about so far as the coach is concerned. We have our guy. We have our quarterback. Now we're looking for the next quarterback in this cycle. So once again, how does that affect recruit? It affects it in the offensive skill set way. So you got to look at guys like Jonte Cook, recruiting battlefield. All right, I just seen 247 put in the crystal ball pick for him to go to Texas. You got to look at Cedric Baxter, the recruiting battle. 247 put in the crystal ball for him to go to Texas. You got to look at a couple of other wide receivers, a couple of offensive linemen. What is the one thing that I did not mention here? What is the one thing that I did not mention? A defensive player. So now let's translate over to what does this say for Texas A&M recruiting. Now we're getting interested. Now the conversation changes. You know what this does for us in particular? It does this here. It lets us go out and recruit the best defensive players in the nation. I'm going to tell you like this here. A guy that I'm solely sold on, in which I know that we'll go out and get, and understand the point I'm about to make. Jimbo Fisher, Elijah Robinson, Terry Price, and our new DC, DJ Durkin. They're going to go out. They're going to recruit defense again. That will make up a heavy percentage of this class again. Why do I say that? Because the number one player just came off the board. We know where he's going. By the time they come over in 2025, we know what we would have to deal with. If Steve Sarkisian is still there, we will have to deal with a whole lot of offensive firepower. As of right now, well, we're still dealing with a whole lot of offensive firepower from the likes of Mississippi State, the likes of LSU maybe, Ole Miss, Alabama, of course, and guys of that nature, man, just so far as our side of the SEC is concerned. So we're going to go out and we're going to do what we have to do. So the guy that you guys need to look for to essentially hit a domino effect so far as Texas A&M is concerned is David Hicks. Now, I'm not sure when he's going to commit, but I'm pretty sure when he does commit, it will be to Texas A&M. I fully give a guarantee on that. Another guy you got to look at, and the thing about that is that I told you it was one thing that Sarkisian didn't start doing. I told you about the defense. So with that being said about David Hicks is the number one defensive lineman in the class. All right. You look at another guy who is Tony Mitchell. Okay, he's another one to add to an already stellar cornerback room in which we're getting assembled once again. So Tony Mitchell is the number 2 corner in the class. So look at what I'm telling you right there. Point I'm making once again, Jimbo Fisher's building the championship roster. As of right now, he already has a championship roster. I understand the question mark, stuff like that. But he has a championship roster already. So us going out and offering the number 1 quarterback, I knew for sure that wasn't going to happen. That wasn't going to happen at all because, first and foremost, Jimbo Fisher had already told you that he felt like he had his guy in Eli Holstein. Only problem is that Eli Holstein didn't stick. He decommitted, and he committed to Alabama. Now Alabama feels like they have their guy. That's just what it is. They feel like they have their guy. He's there. He's committed to them. I do not believe that commitment will change, period. And now A&M is looking for their guy. So I told you about David Hicks, number one defensive lineman. I told you about Tony Mitchell, number 2 cornerback. The thing about those 2 guys that you all need to realize, to all my Aggies out there, and just guys that's watching this video from all over, even if you're a fan of another team, if we land those 2 guys, that will be the first time ever where we landed the number 1 defensive lineman and the number 2 cornerback in back-to-back years. Understand what I just told you right there. That will be our first time ever where we landed number 1 defensive lineman, number 2 cornerback in back-to-back years. The guys from the 2022 class, Walter Nolan, number 1 defensive lineman. A whole lot of other listed defensive linemen to go with it. Denver Harris, number 2 cornerback. A whole lot more cornerbacks to go with it. Understand the replication of just that in general. That is called stacking your depth chart in the best spots possible to go up against offenses like Ole Miss. Offenses like Alabama. Arkansas of the world. Stuff like that. Think about the balance of what Jimbo Fisher just done with the last recruiting class. What did he just sign? in last year's recruiting class. This is why I told you, this is where it gets interesting. He signed 2 of the top receivers. All right, the top, 6 receivers or the top 5 receivers. Signed 2 of those guys. Signed 3 tight ends. 3. Signed a hell of a running back that came from Louisiana. And then he has other skill players to go with it. Signed a hell of a defensive line class, in which would be the best in history. He signed a number of cornerbacks. Signed probably, I think, the number 2 safety. Think about what I'm telling you right there. And he signed a lot of and he signed an offensive line. Cam Dewberry was one of them, and which was the prime piece. Think about the balance. Now you get where I'm going here? So what is our recruiting pitch? Come and be a part of a championship roster. That's our recruiting pitch. We haven't won a championship yet. But if you let the numbers do the talking, the statistics in which people love to go by, ESPN, CBS, and others, what do these statistics say? A&M is the top 5 team. Why they're the top 5 team? Their roster is set so far as the depth is concerned from top to bottom. Do you not know that our quarterback room is one of the more stacked quarterback rooms we've ever had in College Station? That has actually stuck there. We're not talking about the Kyle Allens of the world, Kyler Murray's. No, I'm talking about quarterbacks that are actually there. Stuck. Connor Wing, Max Johnson, Haynes King, Eli Stowers. He's still at the quarterback position. You got to understand the negative recruiting pitch that they're telling quarterbacks in general. And I honestly think that's probably why Eli Holstein decommitted. Do you really want to go and sit on the bench, or do you want to come and play and where you know you will have a shot? Now, I don't know if that was pitch or not, but that probably would. All right, so what does that tell you? We are recruiting at the highest level than what we've ever recruited at. So you got to know where Jimbo Fisher and his coaching staff is going with everything. We're now in a position to where we can pick and choose whomever in the heck we want to. All right? We can pick and choose now. We're not in a place anymore to where we had to sit and wait on somebody to commit. No, man. No, don't get me wrong. Don't take that out of context. We still have to wait until they commit, then sign on paper. But we now have the option to go out and get some of the best players in college football. All right, so I already named you 2 of them. Another guy here, and who I feel, will probably get added to this, and he's been crystal ball at work. Another guy I feel that may get added to the bunch as well is Dante Moore. All right, so a lot of you guys are looking around the country. Everybody has their quarterback except us. If we don't get Jaden Rashad over the weekend, in which I'm starting to feel that Jaden Rashad is going to sway the other way. I could be wrong. He may just shock the hell out all over. But I'm starting to feel like he may be a Florida lean, either Florida Gators or Miami. Look for Dante Moore. All right, like I say, as of right now they have him crystal ball to order. If we don't land Dante Moore, then look for this guy as well, Austin Novosad. I think his name is Austin Novosad. Look for that quarterback. Just so far as quarterback is concerned, is he top 100? No, he's not top 100. He is top 300. I think he's ranked at like the 246th best recruit in the nation. Now, what does that say? It doesn't say anything. He's still a 4-star quarterback. He's just not a highly rated 4-star quarterback. It's all about how you develop him, and things of that nature. I know that. But if we don't land those 2 guys, and even if we don't land Austin Novosad that's committed to Baylor at the moment, and what's crazy is that Austin Novosad doesn't even much have an offer from us. But he's taking numerous visits. So you gotta understand the impact of that. If we don't land none of those quarterbacks I just mentioned, there's not another quarterback that Jimbo Fisher likes at the moment. So you can just forget about us landing a quarterback this year. If we do not land those guys, what I will say is look to 2024 because DJ Legway, if he decides to announce early, I believe that will be our quarterback for the future. All right, DJ Legway, if you guys do not know, he is the 2024 class, and that guy is every bit of good of what his ranking say. He's from Willis, Texas, by the way. For you guys that just want to go out there this year and want to see him. So be looking for that. They are in contact with him heavily. Talking about A&M here. And he's every bit of good. So let's keep on going here. So some notable names again. Anthony Hill. That's the guy that we really are pressing for. We're pressing for Anthony Hill like crazy. Because we need him to come and start the linebacker foundation. I think as of right now, we have a junior college guy that's coming out, and he's looking for a new home. It's a transfer guy, I believe, from the UTSA conference. He's now looking for a new home, and we've been in contact with him as well. We need more depth at that position, like crazy. So, Anthony Hill is another one. Xavier Tavino. Now, I understand that. Okay, so I'm looking at it now. And he's not crystal ball to Texas anymore. This is the reason why I tell you guys continue to look at everything that's going on. So he's not crystal ball to Texas. Let me go and look at his commitment list now as we speak. As of right now, I feel good about landing him as well. So you got to think about some notable guys. Javian Tavino, he's very good. Very good. Cornerback now. He is ranked at number, let me go to his prospect ranking here. He is ranked at 22 nationally and the 4th best cornerback. 5-star recruit, by the way. And it goes back to what I said. Jimbo Fisher is a very balanced coach. He loves both sides of the ball, man, not just one. I'm not going to sit up here and say that he's teaching the cornerbacks because that's a lie. But he loves both sides of the ball because he knows that in order to build a championship roster, which I'm going to go back to, you have to have depth everywhere across the field, including that position, because that position there is a key position on the football field. I'm going to take you back to 2019 LSU. Damn good offense. Annihilated almost everybody in the regular season. Annihilated almost everybody. What did we talk about most of it? That is not an LSU defense. That's not. However, we say that LSU showed up with a championship level defense when it came playoff time, when it came SEC championship time, and when it came national championship time. That is what you need. All right. Same thing with Alabama 2020. Offense was tremendous. By far the most points scored ever. They had a full depth chart. Full depth at each and every position. Defense was okay. Not good. Alright? Okay, but not good. They showed up in the SEC title game. They showed up in the playoffs. And they showed up in the national championship game. That is what I'm telling you guys. Alright? You have to have depth over everywhere. So now coming into the season, they're saying that Alabama is going to have best defense under the Nick Saban era. All right, so this is championship level rosters. What is Ohio State's problem right now? The defense. So you can recruit all the skill players you want, but if you do not have a defense to complement those skill players, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to get up there, that's fine. Okay, you wave the flag and say, hey man, I made it to 10 wins or whatever. You look back on all those games, you had shootouts in each and every last one. Shootouts. So, what do you want most? Do you want the game to be a shootout? Or do you want to be the big dog on both sides of the ball? Which one would you prefer? Because I can tell you right now, Lincoln Riley, what is he plagued by? Defense. Got all the offense in the world. But he can't win a title right now because he still hasn't figured out the defense. So, once again, you can get both. Georgia showed you that. They was all defense. When the offense had to show up, they showed up. You guys can say what you want to say. That is what it's about. That's the reason why it's taking A&M so long to get everything together. All right, we thought we had it together last year, in which we did, but quarterback got hurt, man. That it is what it is. So you have to feel the entire roster from top to bottom. Goes back to that's why Texas A&M is picked to be one of the top 5 teams coming into the country next year. And I really had to figure out why they were saying that. That's why. Because of recruiting. They recruit at a high level that makes them walk into the picture that way. But they don't recruit on just one side of the ball. They recruit both sides. That's what we do. All right? Kevin Sumlin, he recruited one side of the ball. Never recruited both sides the way he should have. Okay, so let's keep on going here. So another guy I'm going to tell you guys to watch out for, Shelton Sampson. Now, he's leaned all the way to LSU. He's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's going to be very hard to go in there and get that guy. But Brian Kelly doesn't have a track record of offensive players being sent to the league so far as skill positions are concerned. All right. He's had a couple of receivers to get drafted. You know, Will Fuller's one of them. That's been a long time ago. All right, so y'all look at some things there, man. So let's keep on going here. Another guy, like I say, Jonte Cook. I still believe that we'll most likely land Jonte Cook, but it's one of those recruitments in which we'll see. So Chavion Bradley is another guy, defensive end, edge rusher, like I told you guys before. He's another one that can come and set the bar for Texas A&M. He reminds me a lot of this guy here that committed on last in the 2022 class. He reminds me of Anthony Lucas. And Anthony Lucas was edged out by just a little bit of the 5-star rankings. This is where Anthony Lucas would have been. If they would have put him at a 5-star, he would have been like at number 35 or number 36. That's what he reminds me of. You get him and Anthony Lucas both together, they would make it very hard for any quarterback. It don't matter who you are to throw a ball. All right, so once again, man, we have a lot of guys that's in our recruitment. We're going to slow it down, might stretch your imagination. Malik Muhammad was up there for another unofficial visit. He's coming on, I think, tomorrow. He'll be there for an unofficial visit on tomorrow. We want him. This is another guy from South Oak Cliff, in which Javion Thomas, that's where he committed from. We want both of those guys, man. Those guys are best friends. We want both of them here. All right? That's another cornerback. That's like 3 cornerbacks that I just named to you right there. So another one is Hakeem Williams, wide receiver. We land smack dead as the favorite to land this guy. I just don't know when he's going to commit. I don't know when he's going to say, hey, man, I'm ready to go ahead and throw me on the league. All right, so Jaden Rashada, like I say, he's being crystal ball to Miami at the moment, but we'll see come Sunday. This guy here, offensive tackle Chase Vicentis, he's from New Jersey. You guys already know. We're around the nation now, and we got that connection with all New Jersey kids. Look out for him to make an untimely decision and just come out and say, hey, man, let's go to work. All right? So he's number 57 nationally, offensive tackle. Another guy is Dalton Brooks. As of right now, we sit solely in the driver's seat with Dalton Brooks. He's an athlete, 4-star, number 63 nationally. Another one is Jeremiah Love. I haven't heard much on him. Just be looking out for him as well, but he's an athlete. Nationally, number 71, 4-star recruit. This is who will set off the offensive line. Harris Sewell. As of right now, man, he's been crystal ball to Clemson. And I know why he's crystal ball to Clemson, And it's because this makes the second year in a row where Clemson is coming to the they come to the state of Texas and still another quarterback? I believe so. Or they got somebody else from the state of Texas, but he's from Odessa, Texas, and this is a guy that we're really, really pressing on to commit to Texas A&M. We did sit as the favorite at one point, but Clemson has undoubtedly snatched that from us. But just stay on the lookout, because it'll be a battle between Clemson, Texas A&M, and Alabama. All right, it's no other school that's in there. None at all. I think he had dropped his top 3 anyways, probably like a couple of weeks back. Another defensive lineman, Will Norman. He doesn't really talk as much, but Will Norman is out there. We could possibly land him from IMG Academy as well. This guy here is the safety that you guys need to watch. That's why I say, man, our defensive back room is going to get dangerous again. He's from Zachary, Louisiana. Keelan Jackson. I don't know when he's going to commit, but as of right now, A&M is the only school that's in the warm spot. He may commit end of July, who knows? But we're the only school that's literally like the favorite to land him right now. He's from Zachary, Louisiana, once again. It all depends on when he makes his visit and what's going to impress him the most, man, because if he waits until the season is over with, you gotta think that he's looking solely at this guy here. What's his name? Not the one who Richardson. I can't think of my other safety name. It's not coming to mind at the moment. But he's thinking of that guy. I can find out. Let me go to him right now. That's crazy. I don't remember his name. It's crazy as I don't know what. Antonio Johnson. He's looking at Antonio Johnson. And he wants to see if Antonio Johnson will win the first round. As of right now, it is no 3-star safety that is committed to this team. That is the first time I've ever came on here and I've told you guys, it is no 3 stars committed on this team as a safety. It ain't no 2 stars, no nothing. These are all 4-star recruits. The guys that we have right now is what's his name? Jordan Matthews. Is that his name? No, Jacoby Matthews. I'm talking about Jordan Matthews. Jacoby Matthews, which I was very high on. Bryce Anderson is there now. Jared Kerr. Jaden Gilbert. Antonio Johnson, and DeMond Rich. Those are a lot of guys in that safety room that's looking at each other and pushing each other. All right, so you got to believe we'll most likely land him. Let's keep going. TJ Shanahan, another offensive lineman. I'm liking where we sit at with this guy. If we go into Austin Westlake and we steal this guy, it's a lot of Longhorns that are going to be upset. They're going to be very upset. All right, so we can indeed go in there and land him as he's come out with his top 3: LSU, Texas A&M, and Georgia. Nationally, he's number 144, 4-star quarterback. I believe we landed. Let's go to another notable guy here. Adam Hawkins, wide receiver. As of right now, we're the only guys that's the favorite. Adam Hopkins may just commit over this weekend. It ain't anything I heard or nothing like that. I just got that feeling that he may just say, hey man, plug me in there, I'm coming to College Station. He's from Thomasville, Georgia. They have a relationship. They have a darn good relationship up there. All right, so just be looking for that guy to maybe commit to this team as well. So let's keep going here. Jordan Matthews. So it was a Jordan Matthews. This guy here is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like I say, if we go in there and we start stealing those Louisiana kids from Baton Rouge, it's going to be a lot of Louisiana people upset. A lot of them. So as of right now, they have him crystal ball to Texas. He's a 4-star safety, nationally 139. He has Texas, Tennessee, Michigan, LSU, Texas A&M all in his warm spot at the moment. All right, so just keep that in mind. Another one that I've been hearing about is Micah Tees from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's an athlete, 4-star recruit, nationally number 152. I've been hearing that he's very, very fast. Be looking for that guy to maybe make a splash as well. And I'm going to stop at the running back position. Caleb Jackson. A lot of you guys need to look at the running back depth and say, well, is this enough at the running back depth chart? In my mind, it's not. It's not enough. This guy could indeed come in from Baton Rouge, Louisiana again. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. As of right now, it's Texas A&M and LSU inside of his warm spots. That's probably the two schools that it's going to come down to. He's going to be Texas A&M. That's my prediction. I have not known him to take a visit yet, but trust me, it will be soon. All right. So those are the guys that you guys need to keep the eye out on, and Anthony Evans as well. As we may land him. He's a wide receiver as well, 4-star, nationally, 338, Converse 6. So we may land him as well, all right? So that's just a little bit about the recruiting news. Like I say, man, you guys just stay paying attention. Never doubt Texas A&M. Before I get out of here, I want to let you guys know who may be the teams that will end up in the top 5 when recruiting is all finished. All right. So these are the teams, and I know what I'm saying here because I know this is how the way it's going to end out. So number 1 will not be Notre Dame when it's all said and done. I'm gonna say this once again: it will not be Notre Dame. I've been seeing what Notre Dame is doing; they look very, very good. But I've also seen what Ohio State has been doing. And Ohio State is not finished. They're not finished yet at all. So, as of right now, Ohio State has 13 commitments. 2 of those guys are 5-star recruits. 10 of them are 4-stars. 1 of those guys is 3-star. Did you just hear what I told you? 2 5-stars, 10 4-stars, 1 3-star. Notre Dame kind of has the opposite. 1 5-star, 12 4-stars, 2 3-stars. That's a lot for Notre Dame because I've never seen them recruit at this level. However, I've seen Ohio State recruit at this level, and they don't stop. They do not stop at times. So, I believe that Ohio State will sign their first number 1 class. All right? Because there's a lot more guys that Ohio State is trying to fill in the blank. All right, so I believe number 1 will be Ohio State. Number 2, and you guys are going to look at me kind of crazy, but I'm kind of get comfortable on this one. Number 2 will be Georgia. Number 3 will be, keep on looking at it and looking at it. Number 3 will probably be Clemson. That will stay at the number 3 spot. All right, so hear what I'm saying. Number 4 will be Alabama. Number 4 will be the Alabama Crimson Tide. They will not get the number 1. Any Alabama fan who's thinking that they're going to get the number 1 class this year, I'm here to tell you now, you will not have the number 1 class in 2023. All right, it's too much. It's too much big of a motivation going on for Ohio State, and I feel like they are going to be in the playoffs this year. And if they get to the national title game again, that's going to solidify everything. So, number 4 will be Alabama. All right. Number 5 will be Notre Dame. That will be number 5. And that's crazy. I got to say 6 here. Number 5 will be Notre Dame. Number 6 will be Texas A&M. Okay? So, let me just do the whole top 10. Number 6 will be Texas A&M because we'll start filling our spots eventually in here. Number 7 will be Texas. Texas will be right behind us once again because they got the number 1 guy, but I believe they will continue to pile in some some skill position players in there. So that's number 7. Number 8. I'm just looking at these here. Number 8 will be USC. They will come into the top 10. 8 is USC. Number 9 will probably be Tennessee, because I'm just looking at what they're doing here. Number 9 will probably be Tennessee. And number 10, if Louisville keeps on building off of the running back that they just got, who was Ruben Owens, Louisville will end at the number 10 spot. Those are the 10 teams that I have in the top 10 rankings. All right, so I believe Oklahoma falls just a little bit shy because it's Brent Venables' first year. He falls just a little bit shy out of that number 10 to probably like that number 11 spot. All right, so I'm going to name this once again. And I'm going to put this on Twitter, so make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, all right? Number 1 will be Ohio State. Number 2 will be Georgia. Number 3 will be Clemson. Number 4 will be Alabama. Number 5 will be Notre Dame. Number 6 will be Texas A&M. Number 7 will be Texas. Number 8 will be USC. Number 9 will be Tennessee. Number 10 will be Louisville. Those are my top 10 recruiting rankings at the end of the recruiting cycle. All right, so I'm not going to say that we're going to get a number 1 class this year, because I just don't necessarily feel that edge on this class because we got so many guys in the last one. So I do have to be realistic here. But we will end up with a top 6 or top 5 class. You guys can bet your bubble on that. And the guys that are going to be in that class will be doing good. All right, so that's called just stacking the classes, stack it. So once again, I believe Ohio State will get the first ever number 1 class in the recruitment period, and the pressure will be on them as well. So we'll go from there. So that's all I have for you guys on this one. Make sure you tune in on tomorrow. We'll talk about something else new again. On tomorrow, man, I'll probably get into the Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher feud, in which they continuously talk about Jimbo Fisher and what he's doing and stuff like that. So I love all of you guys. I love all of you for tuning in. Thank you so much. #EagleMax.